Hello and welcome. Today is July 22nd, 2023. First of all, a disclaimer. This is in no way a research, a proof, or debunking of the theory that I'm about to discuss with you. It's solely a conspiracy theory and should not be taken as a result of a thorough research or as a news or as a declaration. I just want to bring to your attention, rather ask you a question. Do you think all this is just coincidence, or is this all being done deliberately as a chain of events? Starting with COVID, financial crisis, war, even the crazy weather pattern. I'm just speaking out as a conspiracy theorist. Whatever my low IQ pushes me to ask, I ask away as a question. You must have heard about HAARP, the High Altitude Aurora Research Program. I believe that's what the abbreviation stands for. I apologize if it's incorrect. But the main focus is the idea of controlling and manipulating the weather has been there for some time. Since early 50s, people have wrote research papers which have been debunked, rejected, accepted, discussed, read, thrown away. In the late 80s, there was a thorough research paper that was carried out or expanded further from a 50s research paper by a scientist who was a meteorologist as well. And basically, the idea was that the ionosphere that stands about 1,000 kilometers above surface, which is the outermost layer of the Earth, where all the ionic activity and formation and patterns of weather basically is manipulated or is controlled through the ionosphere. Whatever activity happens there through the interaction with the rays of sunlight. Now, the main thing here is the microwaves or radio waves and the concept how a microwave oven works. So the theory is that you heat one side of the globe with a high beam of microwave, and then once that starts heating up, the hot air starts rising rapidly, and then the colder air from surroundings, depending on the heat that has been generated, will rush in. Now, the area that is being heated, of course, will first face severe heat and then even drought. Once the cold air starts rushing in and it's allowed to cool that area down, the areas in its way or in its path will experience different types of weather patterns. So if you notice, on one side of the globe there is extreme heat. On the opposite part there's extreme torrential rains and floods happening. From Europe to North America, extreme heat waves. And in Asia, majority of the parts of Asia, from China down to India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, all these surrounding areas are experiencing extreme torrential downpour and floods. So, do you think it's all a coincidence? Once again, this is just a stupid question or joke of the day from my part, but could you think that this is being done? Now, a lot of skeptics will say, oh, where would we bring the enormous amount of energy and power to create such an event? Now, do keep in notice that the word UFO was a myth until most recently when it was declassified. From the early 50s till most recently, before the declassification was done, people have been intrigued by these phenomenons, and people have given up their lives investigating and researching into this. In the end, the US government then declassifies and admits that yes, we have and are, and we will be constantly visited by extraterrestrials, and also the concept of having their technology recovered from various crash sites and reverse engineering. So if those crafts come from far, far away, like light years away. What powers their vehicles to travel for so long? There must be an energy source. So imagine if such an energy source was being used here to power and then beam it up to the satellites in our orbit, and those satellites using their radar dishes to focus that heat towards one part of ionosphere or one part of the globe, start heating it up and creating weather patterns, and then moving along and then carrying those weather patterns, whether to east, west, north, or south. And this is something that is not, I would say, not a conspiracy theory anymore, because up in the orbit in satellite technology, two things are already a reality: Star Wars program, and another thing that you must have heard about is rods from God. These are huge tungsten rods that are weaponized and are shot wherever needed by a satellite that enter the orbit. And then whoever they strike, they produce the destruction of a small nuclear weapon without any radiation. So they basically penetrate the surface, they go down, and then they explode. And when they explode, the destruction that happens as a result is in result of that a small nuclear arm between 1 to 5 megatons TNT. So technology has advanced way beyond our imagination. If we don't know it, or if we haven't seen it, we tend to discard it, or we don't accept it till we see it happening, or it gets disclosed to us. So in the end, I would just leave it all up to you and give me your opinion in comments. But that's my conspiracy theory of the day. Thanks for watching. Till next time, take care and God bless.